Hello there, welcome back to you four and the Holy Trinity, or at least we're still trying. Last time I made a reborn Serbia, basically sacrificed a core of mine, and the goal here is basically to, well, get Serbia back in business, get hopefully Bulgaria also to some degree back in business, which would be interesting, and we also managed to get some military reform, which is of course really useful. But I'm a little bit unsure what I want to do here. Again, military power, we're basically at maximum. My power is maximum. You can make as many jokes as you want there. And due to that, I should probably hire myself a general, just for good measure. Not the greatest, but he is what he is. I don't think that little 10% here will actually help too much, to be perfectly honest. So I think in this case, we'll actually just go ahead and, of course, the morale boost would probably be useful, but I think 200 diplomatic power will be more useful, so we're just going to reform the navy in this case. Should be perfectly fine with that, to be honest. And we're also going to force these guys here to get Raska and Serbia to Serbia. That's basically the only thing we want in this war. No reason to do anything else. No reason to force a vassalage upon them either, I think. We can, of course, no reason to take money either, for that matter. This is all we will be doing in this war, but we're going to fight another war more or less right away here, because as you can see, Bulgaria has been reduced to a one province minor, which serves in my... It helps me, because I'm going to release them from the province here, and then we're going to wage a war against the Ottomans here, and then most likely we're going to wage a war against Hungary, which will be interesting, but especially considering they have Lithuania and Genoa on their side. But I think it should be fine. Lithuania's kind of been in a awkward scenario here, especially since they have patriots in the eastern lands, and also because they lost all of their forces in the war against Austria. So, all in all, I think we are looking pretty alright, I hope. I kind of hate that menu because I never remember how to get out of it. But we are going to declare war here on Bulgaria. The goal is to take Korhum. Although what I'm actually going to do is just go for a straight out annex, which will probably cause me a little bit of aggressive expansion, but we can live with that. And again here, the goal here is actually to release Bulgaria again. I'll have a vassal too many, but that's just, that's actually perfectly fine in this scenario. And that's not. Sweden! Sweden is getting uppity. Well, that could actually get interesting, but I don't want to figure out, I don't want to find out that really. But unfortunately, thanks to these zealots, I think I'll have to send my army back to, well, back to Lancet to try and help. So I'll just transfer my army over, allow the siege to more or less finish, and then I'll get back to you. There we go, the army has been fetched, and we're currently fighting the Orthodox zealots here. The Byzantines are helping us out. And I guess my extra income and full submit from my vassal, which is of course nice, I guess. But yeah, that's basically that problem solved. And I can now actually start focusing on the soon-to-come war against, well, the Ottomans. And in this case, we're going for full annexation. We're going to accrue a little bit of aggressive expansion, as expected. And thanks to the fact that I do now know that Bulgaria is in the same group, cultural group as, well, Serbian isn't the primary culture, but it's in the same culture group, and thus I can actually release them. The problem that I actually faced here with, well, everyone else, but not to bother. We can deal with that now. So it's time to declare war on these guys, and Austria and France will actually help me, well, crush them, and that is going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I guess in this case we're going to go with take core Kosovo, because it's close, it's easy to take, and it should be easy to hold. And of course the fact that I get Austria and France on the party should also be fairly alright. So let's just go ahead here and declare war. Hopefully this will work out wonderfully. We'll just have to wait and see, but I don't expect the war against the Ottomans to be too harsh here. The problem of course will most likely be that I'll be missing troops in this area. I didn't actually consider fleets. With Tunisia joining in too, things are going to get a little bit awkward, but it is what it is. I'll just have to handle it best I can. We are going to unlock Humanist Tolerance, which gives Tolerance of Heathens +3, and also -10 to future idea cost thanks to the idea set being complete. Now we can actually focus on admin tech, which will be useful. And with 92 months, I think we can actually focus on converting England. It'll take a while, of course, but it should work just fine. And then we have the Austrians invading, which is wonderful. This war should be really interesting, especially if you consider the fact that both France and Austria is involved. I would expect France to be able to handle their fleets. If not, then, well, I don't know why I hired them, but allow the sieges to go on here. And hopefully here we'll have a rather big, well, both Serbia and Bulgaria by the end of this. And hopefully we'll actually expel the Ottomans, except for the capital, from the, well, from this side of the Sea of Marmara and the Aegean Sea. I don't know what the entire channel here is called, but basically we're cutting them off from that, and hopefully then I can return Constantinople to well, the Byzantines. So I'll allow the siege to continue. If there's any big battles, I'll show you. If not, I'll probably just hang back and see how things pan out. Not surprisingly, I did actually lose my alliances with both Livonian Order and also the Teutonic Order due to the fact that both of them are actually become Protestant, which makes things a little bit awkward and, well, rather interesting. It also makes it possible for me to actually attack these things and forcibly vassalize them if I had the capacity to send my troops up there right now, which I probably should have, all things considered. It's basically just a, well, horrible piece of engineering from my side here that I am not capable of doing such things. It would actually be kind of hilarious in this scenario to just send my, well, troops up there and just make quick work of them, which we'll probably do soon enough. Unfortunately here, the French actually decided to invade the mainland here instead of handling, well, the Ottoman fleet. So what I think I might actually have to do here is kamikaze my fleet in order to try and march enough troops over to, well, cause some problems. And of course I forgot to take military attack, but there we go. The matchlock musket, level 11. Combat width increased by 2, cavalry fire by 0.5, infantry shock by 0.2, and I can now build barracks and weapons manufactory, both which are, well, useful, but I'm not really, I don't build too many buildings, unfortunately. Now what is this? Attack against Croatia. Wow. So Austria are actually got into trouble with Hungary, which means that I can potentially here crush Hungary on my own after this, or potentially I might even declare an early war to take back, as you can see here, Tarnovo. That's basically the only thing, unfortunately, but we can still take it. And potentially here we might go for, well, something else as well. We'll just have to see what we end up with here. So it's an interesting little, well, side piece here. But yeah, I think I might have to sacrifice some of my navy, if not all of it, to just try and block the Ottoman fleet from going back and forth, so that I can actually, well, land troops where it matters on the Ottoman mainland. So I'll have to consider if it's actually a viable solution or not, and it probably is. So expect this fleet to be, well, suicidal. Unfortunately, I would definitely prefer it if the Austrian fleet would actually move a little bit further than it already has, but I guess that's not too expected. So for now, I'll just leave the French to play with Tunis, and then we'll see what we end up with in this scenario here. But I'll probably, as soon as Constantinople's actually been sieged, I'll probably fight the fleet here, and then we will be going for, well, these two armies here. We'll see how it works out. Unless, of course, the Ottomans decide to dump a fleet on, well, my side of everything, which they actually did, which I find hilarious, and also gives me a very nice opportunity to just, well, destroy or at least weaken said army, which, of course, is hilarious, all things considered. But, yeah, the plan now is basically to join up my armies, and then we're going to march... then we're going to march over. The plan, of course, is to engage in a battle in the Aegean Sea. I got a saint proclaimed a little while ago, and I lost it right away. Now, where did that fleet actually go? Did they just destroy their fleet? I think they did. I think they actually destroyed their fleet. If they did that, then no, they didn't actually destroy their fleet. That's interesting. They didn't destroy their fleet, but they put themselves in a really, really awkward situation here, thanks to the fact that they did that. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for it, but I don't understand why. And that's basically why I'm kind of confused here. But of course, the fact that the Ottomans decide to go to shore, or give their guys shore leave, is of course a very good situation for me, because then I can now attack them. So in this case, I think we can afford to take diplomatic attack 11, which is canal and shipyard. Maximum colonial range increased by 100, and I can now build shipyards and canal. And might as well just go for admin tech as well while we're at it. But I think I'll wait just a little while longer in case I actually end up taking some provinces as well in this war. Price of cloth, price of wool. It's kind of arbitrary system, to be perfectly honest, but it is what it is. Again, here we're going to just try and, well, fight the war on our terms, and I'm pretty sure we have won the war against the Ottomans here. We'll just have to wait and see how it works out in the end. So if there are any bigger battles or anything interesting, I'll show you. But I expect this basically to be swift sieges, and then we're happy with it. So we'll see how it turns out. But that's how I expect the war to end. I just white pieced out Tunis here, thanks to the French doing a lot of sieging, and right now we can also white piece out Persia. They do not actually have any need to be in the war, and they actually were 21 war score just to get them out of it. So that's of course good. Gaskamuk will probably also be well, tossed out as soon as we can. They are a really tiny nation here still. Kind of a, well, good old moment there. We trashed Gaskamuk quite a few times in my, well, attempt with Tabaristan achievement, so that was actually quite a bit of fun. Why are you going there? We can wait. Diplomatic annexation costs for 5 years. Well, I have to agree here. We can actually wait in this case. Why? 6 base tax. Well, it's lower than the others, but still not good. Oh, Venice. You've gotten yourself into trouble here, I see. Oh, you attacked Croatia. Well, that's an interesting one. Hungary is kind of actually bullying Austria because they did actually win the war, it seems like, which is worrisome. But this is of course good because that means I'll have a weaker Venice and then I can conquer the coast on my own regard. Of course, we'll have to actually fight Austria because I kind of want to connect my empire here. Or so. So we'll have to see how we'll deal with that, but for the time being the goal of course is to, well, survive and thrive and not have any more provinces turn reform thanks to Center of Reformation. To be perfectly honest, I feel like the Centers of Reformation are really arbitrary, to be perfectly honest. And the reason for that is it's just so random. The religion inference is being converted, and is there any way for me to turn this around because of its proximity to a Center of Reformation? Let's face it, this is not close proximity, this is far away, but still it doesn't actually matter to the game here. It's really far away, the Center of Reformation, and suddenly boom, I'm being hit. France goes unnoticed. We have a Reformed province here, we have a Protestant web here, but even so, again, I just find the new mechanics for this really arbitrary, especially if you consider the fact that and things that I can take here, it's not really a lot of useful stuff, let's just be perfectly honest. I have a television, I can take this for instance, but unrest for a little bit of missionary strength, not really useful. So yeah, again, I find that I just find that whole event far too arbitrary for my liking, at least as it is now. But of course it might change in the future. We'll just have to see how it works out, if they make any changes to it, etc. Who knows? It might become better, or it might just be me having some weird / stupid ideas. The economy, you fools. So I'll need to boost, which costs me a little bit here. Do I want to reduce? Probably. And do I want to support? No, we have a really good general going with the Serbian forces, and that was apparently enough. Let's see here. The goal for this war has actually been reached. The goal is to actually take Biga and Siglair too, just to get myself a connection if you will. So that will of course be useful. Now I'm a little bit unsure. Yeah, actually, as soon as I decided to run away or leave here, they actually attacked me, and I lost my my small ships here, which is not good. But I kind of find it hilarious that as soon as I decide to move my ships, they decide to go out of harbour. So I guess the AI needs a little bit of fine-tuning on this too, if you want to consider it that way. But as you can see, the war is more or less won. All that's really need to be done is just sieging a little bit. So I'll allow the sieging to happen more or less, and I'll get back to you once it has been done, and we'll see how it well, how it works out. There we go. The siege of Biga is over. And I would expect me to be able to take both of the provinces without too much fuss from the Ottomans. It's actually a perfect 100%, and aggressive expansion wise it's not too... It's kind of awkward, kind of weird, kind of high. So I'm a little bit unsure if I actually should take anything in this war to begin with. Base tax wise is 4 and 5. So I can probably understand why it's a little bit expensive, but I still feel it's kind of well, worrisome. So I think in this war we'll not take anything. It's probably due to the fact that I decided to go for a reconquest war more so than anything else. I don't think I want to have them hand over anything to anyone else. There's no reason for that in my own book. What I could do instead, of course, is have them revoke their calls on well, the lands, but let's face it, that doesn't really make too much sense. Taken from rival. Again here, we could of course just force them to release a nation, for instance, force them to release Saruhan, Aretna, Kandar, Aydin. Is there anything that would actually be useful to release? I don't think so, so I guess in this case we'll just force them to give up their, well, treaties, peace treaties, or deals if you will, and we'll take a little bit of their money. Of course I would like to take the provinces, but this works too. Or do I really want to do that? I'm kind of considering if I want to do that in terms of truce timers, but I think it's fine. Yeah, we'll go with this. It should work. I won't get any aggressive expansion. We'll have basically my 2 strong cards here being upgraded. I have Serbia and of course Bulgaria, both of them almost completed. And with that, I think we can actually start considering, well, annexing both of them. And I'm also really considering a war here against Hungary, because of course the core is still a factor, and also the fact that I can then get back the Byzantium core, that is the Chios Islands. So it's just positive, really. I can take back 2 cores in a very simple war, where I'll most likely have both Austria and France on my side. So I'll probably do that. And with that, we can now do an upgrade to Admin Tech level 8, Workshop and Courthouse, and I can then build said buildings. But we get also 2 nice things here. I can do the Active Uniformity, which actually gives him a point of mission strength, and the Suffragan Bishop Act, which actually makes the ability a little bit cheaper in return of a little bit of less taxes. So we're going to take that as well. -4 to tax, but -8 to stability costs, so both of them are kind of useful. But the truce now with the Ottomans will run until 44, so it's a flat 15 years, but it should be fine. And again here we're probably going to go after Hungary. I'm also kind of tempted to just go after Venice potentially by declaring war on Savoy or Genoa itself. We'll have to, even Mantua here is of course a target. So I have to consider it. The funny part here is actually that Genoa and Savoy are actually part of the coalition against me, and the only real issue here would be Brandenburg. But yeah, it's something I can live with. And actually the last thing I'm going to do here before we leave is reinstate my alliances with these two, just to make sure they actually survive. Again, I should probably just go up there, kick their asses, vassalize them right away, but if I'm going to play the vassalization game in this area here, it's better just to keep them safe. So, sorry again for a very long episode, kind of same like yesterday, so hopefully you have enjoyed it even so, and hopefully you'll be ready for another one tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.